This is going to be a short little tutorial called Gang of Ninjas, and this is going to be very important using the correct layer management and the correct fill and stroke and everything colors. So let's go to Canvas and get started here. So again, this is going to be important to follow the video because it's very specific. Your grade is going to be based on the correct number of layers and the correct fill and stroke of different objects. And then you're also going to turn in an Illustrator file. So this is an example of what it looks like. So we're going to go back to our Illustrator, and this is my example here. And then we're going to actually click File and New. So we're going to click on the print preset, right? Since we're printing this out, and you click on the A4, we need to change this to inches. And this is very, very important. Change it to inches, okay? And this needs to be at landscape. And now the last thing we did to it is change it to Gang of Ninjas. Yes. Again, it's very important to change the inches. So you can leave everything the way it is, the default settings, and click on Create. So it's going to be a white square. So what we're going to do is actually create, first off, we're going to create a new group. So we can call it brand new group. So we need to create a new swatch within that group. Let's delete that one. So yes, I'm not sure what that one. All right. So we're going to create a new swatch here. Okay. A new swatch. We're actually going to. It's going to be the fill, the bottom. It's going to be 2D, 2D, 2D. It's pretty simple. That's going to be the first one. So we need to drag that down to right here, the new group. And then we click on a new swatch again. So it's going to be a few different swatches. And this is going to be, again, our little 3A, 3A, 3A. And click OK. That should be the next one. We're going to create 6 total. So the next one here, with our X color, is going to be 2, 3, 1, F, 2, 0. And click OK. Next one. This is going to be more of a flesh color kind of thing. So this is going to be F, C, D, B, A, C. And then we'll create one more. This is going to actually help us in the long run. So this is going to be D, 3, B, 4, 8, D. Click OK. It's going to be our basically our 6 swatches that we need. So the first thing we're going to do is create a rectangle tool. So we can close that. The rectangle tool. So come to the top here. This need to make sure the Smart Guys is checked. Nothing else should be checked here. And then click on the make sure it says intersect here. And we'll create our first little rectangle. Okay. And then we can have it. I'm sorry, we can go back to default here. So we just made that default. Okay. And now another rectangle. So it's going to be intersect, sorry. And go back to the anchor point. So this first, let's click on the selection tool. This first one needs to be the swatches here. Can be these grades up here. So it can be the third one. And so you need to have the fill in front. So I'm sorry, we'll do that again. The third stroke here. And now this bottom here, the fill needs to be in front, and this is the second one. So again, we have a lighter gray and a dark gray. So now I actually can click and drag a little window over both those. So the stroke needs to be in front here, and they need to be nothing. So we don't have a stroke on either one. So click on the layer. We need that as a background. I'm sure. Now I need to lock that layer and then create a new layer to draw from. Okay. And close this. So now we're actually going to create. So we can go back to default. So we're going to actually create a little ellipse here. So this is going to be just click on the screen. It means 2 inches by 2 inches. That's what it says right here. 2 inches, 2 inches. So it creates a little And that can be go back to the default here, right? And then we actually can create a little, hold this down and grab a rectangle tool. This is going to be a body. So we can create a little body here. So we need to have like a purple line going across. Now actually click on the selector tool and move that. So it needs to go in the center point. That's where the view, the guidelines put it. And the guidelines will help us. And then we need to create a rounded rectangle tool. So the rounded rectangle tool, it's about like something like this. It's not exact lines there, but it needs to be totally rounded here. And that should create our legs. So we can create one leg here. And then we're going to create edit, copy, and then edit, paste in front. Now this is going to be, so it's going to be one on top of the other. So you just drag it over. And now we're actually going to make sure that it's on the intersection line. So now we can click on this again. Rotate. We need to hold that down to grab the rotate tool and click enter. And this needs to be 90 degrees. Okay. So it's going to create a copy. So now I have two of them. Click on the selector tool. Now this should be the arm here. Right. So now click on edit, copy, and edit, paste in front again. This should be the second arm. Yeah, and this needs to actually, you can click on the layer here. Make sure that unchecked. The ellipse needs to go right in front of the rectangle, like this. Okay. And the last thing we're going to do is this first face right here needs to be, click on edit, copy, and then paste in front here. And then we can move that over a little bit because we're going to create this is going to be the mask, right, for our little ninjas there. So you're going to create on the ellipse tool again. And this one is going to be like a large ellipse tool. Okay. So let me click on the selector tool, move it over. So it needs to be the center point. And then I'm actually going to click and drag both of those and click on minus front here. So I can have a little shape here. And then this shape here, if I need to kind of move around. So it's too big. So I'm going to actually make that a little bit smaller here. Yeah, so it's about the right size there. Okay. And now what we're going to do is just move it off. And then we're going to actually click and drag over the whole thing here and give it the right strokes. So click on this appearance panel. If you don't see this like a little sun with little dots around it, you can click on window and grab up the appearance panel. It's right here. So again, we're going to click and select all that. So now it only has this fill and stroke, so we need to add another stroke to it. So there should be two strokes. So this first stroke, make it to that outside, and it's be 5 points here, and the color should be that should be the third color there. Okay. And now this stroke right here should be the inside here. Again, 5 strokes here, 5 point stroke. And this one could be the second one. Right. Now I actually do the fill. And this fill needs to be the first one. Okay, that's the easy way to kind of make that. Okay. The last thing, I need to click on this one. And this one needs a stroke as well. This one can be 3 points, I believe. Oh, I'm sorry, then to change it to outside. Now the second stroke, inside. Again, 3 points. And this one, I can actually be, yeah, I can just leave the first one, just black. But this one actually just be that 6th one right here. Okay? And then the fill color, it'd be this little inside one. And then the last thing what to do is actually just create, this could be, create like little eyes for that. And this one can be the fill color, set the fill in front, and it can be a, we just set the black here. So it's going to be fully black. And then just to zoom into this a little bit. And you can set this, pull it down. And I click edit, copy, and then I just paste in front here. And now this can be the second eye. So I got the two eyes there. And so the last little bit, I'm going to zoom out here. So I need to click on everything here. And then click on group. Okay. Now we're going to create, this is going to be 5 little groups here. So I can click on, hold the Alt key down, right? So that can create just, this will be the second, and then the third one, and then the fourth one there. So we can move those around kind of visually. So if you need to, you can move over and make sure they have enough space there. Right here. And then what we're going to do here is actually just create it. Because they all have the same layer, but we actually need to create some different layers here. So we're going to double click and call it 1. Double click and call this 2. Double click and call it 3. Double click and call this 4. Okay, so click on this, and this should go, just click on the red dot and it grabs it all to the layer 1. So you could see 1, that's the first ninja here. This can be the second ninja here. This is going to be the third ninja here. And this is going to be the fourth layer here. The last thing we need to do is double click and change those to different kind of like angles here for the different hands. So we can double click and actually it will isolate that. So this hand needs to be kind of brought in a little bit. Instead of clicking this hand, this needs to be brought down like this. So we can kind of see, yeah. And this next one just be double click on that. Double click on this, and this will actually isolate that, and these are just brought out. Like this. And then all 4 of these will kind of just displayed out like that. Just turn all these out. And then double click and it unisolates it. Then actually this one, it just has 1 leg going up. And then we can actually click on this, double click on that, and click on this leg, and actually it'll come out to, let's see. Oh, it comes up to like, right. Sorry, we went the wrong way. Let's click on edit and then do scale. So it should be, click on this, and let me just rotate up like this. So we're escaping the air like this, and then we go back to the other arm. Needs to be brought down a little bit. So we can bring it down a little bit. And then we double click and click on the space bar and just click and drag it over. And then I click on this one. It needs to be double click here. Select that one and drag it down, I guess, a little bit. So we're just actually isolating these so we can move them around. That one goes up. Go down a little bit more. This one goes up. So you can see I'm rotating these. And then the feet here, we just have to move that 1 foot out. Like this. And then double click on there. And so now we hit Control 0 and just zoom out. And so now we're going to turn it in. So click on File and Save. So we already saved it. I'm going to save it to our computer. So I'm going to save it as Gang of Ninjas here. And then we're going to go back to our, click OK here. And we're going to go back to our canvas and turn in that little file there. So click on Start and choose. And then we're going to click on the Gang of Ninjas in our downloads. And then click Open and Submit. And that should finish it. Thanks for watching.